Hello and welcome, our blood viewers, to RTD's News English edition. As usual, we bring to you the major and top highlights of tonight. Closing of the Southern Corridor tournament in Mulut Dikhil. Joseph Borrell wants European Union sanctions against Israeli ministers, Palestine, Gaza. Those were the major and top highlights. Welcome back to our newsroom, our blood viewers. August 28, 2024, the ministers in charge of youth from across the Arab region met to adopt an ambitious strategy giving young people a leading role in public policies to preserve and promote peace and security. Under the high patronage of Prince Hussein bin Abdullah, the International Forum brought together young representatives from Arab countries, ministers, experts, heads of institutions, and representatives of civil society. The Minister of Youth and Culture, Dr. Hibu Minasawa, accompanied by four young representatives, took part in the official opening ceremony of this major forum, which will last 2 days on August 28 and 29. During these 2 days, the forum will provide a space for discussion and consultation on this Arab vision, which plans to adopt an action plan following the recommendations collected from young people and decision makers. Roundtables will explore resolutions on urgent challenges and how to foster intergenerational dialogue. The Minister in Youth will also discuss training good governance of institutions and taking into account the needs of each country in terms of preserving peace and living together in harmony. They will highlight how to empower youth in order to build more inclusive and peaceful societies. By promoting participatory dialogue and strong partnerships, the strategy aims to give Arab youth a stronger voice on the world stage. It should be noted that this question of Palestine will be at the heart of all discussion workshops. During her speech, of course, Mr. Dr. Hibo reviewed the achievements of the Republic of Djibouti thanks to the enlightenment vision of the President, His Excellency Mr. Ismail Omar Guelleh, who made peace a precious legacy passed down from one generation to another, and youth the spearhead of sustainable development. She particularly cited the success of the reconciliation process in Somalia thanks to President Guelleh by announcing the upcoming inauguration of the Peace Memorial in Arta and his commitment as President of IGAD to the resolution of Sudan's internal conflicts. The tournament began with a bang with the athletics events, which saw the best runners in the region compete. In a breathtaking race in the region where speed and endurance were put to the test. It was ultimately the representative of Mulud who stood out, crossing the finish line in first place and offering his locality the first medal of the tournament. Attention then turned to the long-awaited final of the football tournament, where the Mulud team was to face the opposite team, the defending champion, in front of an enthusiastic crowd and an audience of distinguished guests. Mulud put on a spectacular performance, winning 3-1. This success not only confirmed Mulud's supremacy in this edition of the tournament, but also delighted the local spectators who continued to show their support throughout the match. The event was also marked by the presence of high-ranking personalities, including the Secretary of State for Sports, Mr. Hassan Mohammed Kamil, the Prefect of the Dekha region, Mr. Hassan Abdi Roble, as well as the President of the Mulud Development Community, Mr. Mahmoud Dawar, the Director of the Regions of the Secretary of State for Sports, and several other local officials also honored with their presence this competition, which beyond sport was intended to be a symbol of cohesion and fraternity between the different localities of the Southern Corridor. The day ended with the final, which was the last highlight of the sporting activities. The team involved were then invited to go up on the podium to receive their awards. Presented by the officials present in a festive atmosphere, the handover of the flag was carried out, symbolizing the passing of the baton to the Arta region, which will host the next edition of the Southern Corridor Tournament, more precisely in the locality of Umar Jaga.
عرتا تقري حيو علي سبيح داخل جيبوتي دقيرة إنكي دقيرة يا راح وضع يارنا علي ليش بوسع أي let's go جيبوتي come on نينكا ديغدا كوجوغا دور عديدا يقاني أنو تانكا تدايا kujira dabinkedo ninka deqda kujoga ducadeeda yaqaane aanu tanka didaya jira daadinkeedu wayda wada carta taalla wadka oonan idaayin waana daynin karayno waan duulayaaye
After several days After several days of intense competitions marked by high-level sporting performances, the Southern Corridor tournament ended on a festive note with a musical evening organized in honor of the officials and participants. The evening, organized outdoors, began immediately after the awards were presented to the winning athletes and teams in front of a large and enthusiastic crowd. The officials present, including the president of the Mulud Development Committee, Mr. Mahmoud Dabar, the director of the SES regions, Mr. Umar Hassan Abdullahi, the sub-prefect of the locality, Mr. Musa Hamad Ugure, took the floor to express their gratitude to the people of Mulud. In their respective speeches, they unanimously praised the warm welcome and the unwavering commitment of the inhabitants in organizing this tournament, which was a real success both on the sporting and social levels. The evening then continued with a series of musical performances that literally set the stage on fire. Several young singers and dancers from the locality of Mulud offered vibrant performances that thrilled the audience.
Monsieur le Président de l'association,
The prefecture of Dakhil organized a working meeting with the customary chiefs of the region. This meeting, which was held under the aegis of the prefect of the region, Mr. Hassan Abdi Roble, saw the participation of the vice president of the regional council, Mr. Ibrahim Guru Abdullah, the deputies of the prefect, and all the customary chiefs of the region, including neighborhood chiefs, village chiefs, and okals. The agenda of this meeting included three salient points, including security, the renovation of urban roads, and public health. On this, the prefect of the Dakhil region urged the customary chiefs to spare no effort to scrupulously ensure stability and social cohesion. Then the prefect of the Dakhil region, Mr. Hassan Abdi Roble, stressed that the urban road renovation works have begun and that to this end, administrative and customary officials must ensure the smooth running of the works. Finally, the prefect insisted on the issue of public health, including the fight against household waste and wastewater on public roads, and especially on the main arteries currently being rehabilitated. On this, the customary officials expressed their gratitude and satisfaction to the government and the President of the Republic, Head of Government, His Excellency Mr. Ismail Umar Gelle, who have honored the commitments to restore the roads of the capital of Dakhil. At the end of this meeting, the customary chiefs assured the authorities of the region of their deep involvement in maintaining security and public health, especially in the fight against the discharge of waste water. It was in an festive atmosphere that the summer tournament, organized by the Association of Young Initiatives of Progress of Damarjog in collaboration with the CDC of Damarjog, ended in style. The long-awaited final pitted the teams of Duda and Damarjog against each other in the presence of regional authorities, including the sub-prefect of Damarjog, Mr. Abdi Hassan, as well as regional elected officials. This tournament, which brought together more than 24 clubs from the different localities of the sub-prefecture of Damarjog, was a real success. During a very competitive match, the Damarjog team triumphed with a close score of 2-0 to the enthusiastic cheers of hundreds of supporters from all over the sub-prefecture. This final, marked by intense competition and exemplary sprint for fraternity, marked a high point for the youth of the Damarjog sub-prefecture, strengthening community ties and celebrating the passion of recreational sports throughout the sub-prefecture. And last but not least, towards the region of Tajarra is renowned for the manufacture of handicrafts, a word that craftsmanship constitutes the most important aspect of intangible cultural heritage. The women of the region, and in particular of those of the White City and other localities, have always worked in the craft sector, a sector that has grown significantly in recent decades, thanks in particular to a strong demand for craft products. Thus, here in the White City, the Tajarra Women's Association is a pioneer in this field thanks to its actions to promote culture and encourage craftswomen through, among other things, training to better harmonize their work and increase their capacities and know-how. This is how all these products on display are the fruit of ancestral know-how that is constantly improved while preserving their original traditional touches. The development of local tourism has also been a real boost for crafts in almost the entire region. This is the case of the tourist village of Dugum, located just a few minutes from the main town, a village that has organized itself through several ecotourism activities and where women have developed new skills in preserving the environment of improving their health. However, crafts remain at the heart of the activities, not only of the women of Dugum, but also of the neighboring localities. They are organized as around an association of women of Dugum. These products made by them are stored in shop where tourists or anyone passing through can buy these items, an organization that allows women to live from their own work. Shifting gears towards the international scene now, Joseph Borrell calls for European Union sanctions against the Israeli ministers. The European Union's foreign policy chief, Joseph Borrell, has proposed sanctions against Israeli ministers who incite hatred and war crimes against Palestinians. The proposed sanctions target National Security Minister Ben Gvir and Finance Minister Smotrich. They belong to the far-right, ultra-nationalist wing of Netanyahu's government, and their recent incendiary actions have sparked international outrage. Shot putter Fadi Al-Bib, the Olympic delegation from Gaza Parliamentarians on Friday, disabled by Israeli snipers shot in Gaza in 2021. He wants to be the spokesperson for the hope and dreams of Palestinians in Paris. Spanish Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez have completed his tour on West African countries. The three-day visit aimed at boosting cooperation in controlling irregular migration from the regions to the Canary Islands ended with a meeting with Senegalese President Bassirou Diomaye Faye in Dakar. The Spanish Prime Minister announced the signing of a memorandum of understanding in favor of so-called secular immigration because it will allow us to expand and improve the existing one to incorporate new sector of economic activity, he said. Mr. Sanchez began his tour on Tuesday in Murcia, where he said that Spain would renew cooperation between the security forces of the two countries. The Spanish Prime Minister addressed the issue of security during his joint conference with the Senegalese president. Our security forces have been working together for many years, and I believe that this is an example of collaboration and bilateral operation to combat mafias, human trafficking networks, and organized crimes, he added. According to the Spanish Interior Minister, more than 22,000 people have landed on the shore since January. A powerful typhoon called Shanshan, which made landfall on Japan's southwestern main island of Kyushu, killed at least 3 people and injured 80 others on Thursday, according to local media. The typhoon brought heavy rains and strong winds that damaged homes and infrastructures in all 7 provinces of the island. The Japan Meteorological Agency urged residents in the affected areas to remain on high alert for expected flooding and natural disasters. Public transport operators have cancelled trains and flights, and some areas have lost power as the storm moved across the island, according to Kyodo News Agency. Kyushu Railways suspended services in the area, while Japan Airlines and All Nippon Airways cancelled many flights to and from airports in the area. Central Japan Railway also announced it was suspending services on the Tokaido Shinkansen bullet train between Mishima and Nagoya in central Japan from Friday morning. The typhoon made landfall near Satusmandisidadi in Kagoshima in the morning. By noon, it was approaching the city of Amakusa in Komato Prefecture from the north at a speed of 15 kilometers per hour, with winds of up to 180 kilometers per hour, the news agency said. Separately, at least 3 people from a family were killed and the 2 others were rescued when a landslide swept away their home in Aichi Prefecture following heavy rains that hit the region on Tuesday. Well, by this, our blood viewers, we finally conclude this edition. Thank you for being with us, and make sure to tune in later for more. Have a wonderful evening. Take care.